Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Football by Rob. It's Rob here. Just going to do a quick video where we discuss all the transfer activity that has happened with Arsenal over the last 24 hours and what it could mean for the rest of the transfer window. Alright, so I'm just going to go from this intro to my laptop screen. You'll see me in the corner. We'll take it from there. Cheers. Right, so just in yesterday's video, I was discussing about Thomas Partey and how he was on the verge of leaving, and it would be imperative for Arsenal to maintain squad balance, especially in midfield, if we want to mount a proper title challenge and compete on multiple fronts. Well, today we have news, actually yesterday, but because of differing time zones, I was a bit late to the party. But we have confirmation from Fabrizio Romano where he said that Thomas Partey is set to leave Arsenal as a free agent at the end of the month. AFC have already activated options to replace Thomas with Nørgaard talks ongoing with Brentford. Now, since this tweet, we've also got the here we go announcement for Christian Nørgaard. He is a 31-year-old from Brentford. I'm just going to open his profile up right here. 31 years old from Brentford. He's had 2 injury layoffs last season. Normally known for playing in the deep lying 6 and can also play a little bit further forward. So this will be the perfect foil for Zubimendi in my opinion. And the deal is believed to be 11 million euro as Fabrizio pointed out. So it seems like a solid deal. If you look at his minutes, relatively consistent over the last 2 seasons. And again, I think if we are looking at Nørgaard to be the Jorginho replacement in the squad and have Zubimendi as the Partey replacement in the squad, I think that makes sense overall. And at the same time, it allows Miles Lewis-Skelly to remain in left back, even though I would have personally preferred he move into midfield. But then part of me also feels that this could be a stepping stone sort of situation where we keep Nørgaard for a season or 2, and that allows Miles to develop, where in 2-3 years point when Nørgaard is looking to be moved on, that is when Lewis-Skelly will move up into midfield. If you look at his heat map, it's pretty decent as well. Again, he is somebody who can cover up a lot of space. He's known for his positioning, so I'm not sure if he will need another person to anchor the midfield with him. Given his age and his lack of pace, maybe in the bigger games, but then I don't expect him to play the bigger games. I expect Christian Nørgaard to ideally take some minutes off Zubimendi, come off the bench in most of the games and play in the cup games, play in the games that don't have as much of a significance as compared to the top teams and the top rivals that we will take on this season. I think for 11 million, it's a very good deal. And why I say that? It's also because we have also gone and completed this signing as well, if Fabrizio is to be believed. Well, I believe him. When it's Fabrizio, you always believe him. So we have apparently signed Kepa Arrizabalaga from Chelsea. He is going to be a backup for David Raya. I don't know if he has any intentions to actually challenge for the top spot between the sticks, but I would want him to be a backup at this point in time. I have all my faith in Raya and I want to keep it that way. 5 million for him and 11 million for Nørgaard. So what does that tell us? That tells us that instead of spending big on a squad player, we are looking to save all those resources and money and put it in somewhere else where it's going to have more of an impact. Now, where can that be? That will be probably with this guy. Now, I have made no secret in the past that I would prefer Arsenal go after somebody like Eze or Kaoru Mitoma before we look at Rodrygo. That being said, Rodrygo is miles better than either of these two players that I just mentioned. but it will only make sense if we are not paying way over the margins. If we can make that transfer work out for us financially and not be a burden for us when it comes to balancing the books, then it makes sense. Otherwise, I'm not too keen on just splashing the cash for a flashy name. So, what does this Mirror article say? Real Madrid confirmed Rodrygo's asking price, and if you go into the article, it's close to 77 million pounds, which translates to 90 million euro. That is what we had discussed earlier in a previous video. So I'm not seeing any cut price situation or anything like that. But the situation at Real Madrid feels very similar to the time when we got Martin Odegaard. And Charles Watts pointed this out earlier. When we signed Odegaard on loan and then he went back, that was around the time when Zidane left and Ancelotti just came in, and there was this transition of ideas, of personnel, of philosophy, and they decided towards the end of the window that Odegaard just wasn't going to fit into their plans, and that is when we managed to get him. Now, because of the inability to fit him in, that is probably what led to his price being what it was when we signed him. I think it was like 35 million or 37 million, something like that. So, do I see a similar situation for Rodrygo? No. Rodrygo is way more established. He has never had to go out on loan to the extent that Odegaard had to go out in his Real Madrid time. And he is way more accomplished as well. He has Champions League experience, La Liga experience. He has experience in international competitions. For all intents and purposes, this is a proven, established, world-class level player. Maybe not at the same level as Vini and Mbappe, but certainly an upgrade over somebody like a Martinelli or a Trossard when it comes to our squad. Now, if we sign him for this 90 million euro, does that make sense for Arsenal? I think it does. Again, I mentioned it earlier, I will prefer us going for somebody like Eze or Mitoma before this, because I think that the price will be much more reasonable, not to mention the signing on bonus, the wages. They will also be much more feasible, in my opinion. But if we sign Rodrygo, it will be as big as when we signed Ozil or when we signed Alexis Sanchez, in my opinion. Like, it will be a statement signing. Even though I'm already seeing Liverpool and Man City making mad moves, even United are trying to get players in for big money. And I see a lot of Arsenal fans who are disgruntled on social media. This will shut them up. Now, whether the club are actually doing it for that reason or whether they are doing it for the squad, it remains to be seen. I would like to believe it's for the squad, because I don't think we should pay heed to Arsenal fans or rivals for that matter on Twitter. You can't cater to everybody. And it doesn't make sense to pander to people on social media who aren't going to be involved in the day-to-day workings of the club. Now, in case we do sign him and we are also looking at Gyokeres and Sesko, I think it will be a solid window for us. Again, that also depends on no other outgoings, nothing major happening. I would still want some players to leave, high earners who aren't contributing to the squad at that level, but it remains to be seen. Hypothetically, if Alexander Zinchenko leaves, I will want Jorel Hatter to come in. But in case he doesn't, then I think we will stay put. Or we should stay put, rather. Now, what else can we do apart from this business? Well, something else that Fabrizio has confirmed is that Lewis-Skelly has signed a long deal. And I could not be more delighted. I am so happy. I hope this kid stays for years and years, because he is such an immense talent. You look at him and you think he's raw, but then you see him play and he looks like a finished article. The maturity that he has for his age, I have not seen a player like that since Wayne Rooney, in all honesty. Even Jack Wilshere wasn't this calm and collected that early on. I remember he had to go out on loan to Bolton. This kid has just taken to first team action like a duck to water. And it is so refreshing to watch him play. No sideways passing, none of this possession for the sake of it. Just get the ball and start charging. Start taking players on. Force them to either track back or foul him. It's just brilliant to watch. And I'm really happy with this news. This and Gabriel signing long-term deals have been as good as signings for us. I want to keep reiterating this to Arsenal fans. Keep your cool, calm your jets, hold your horses. Don't panic. Don't freak out. Just because City have signed 5 players or Liverpool have signed 4 players, don't. The window is still ongoing. If the window closes and we haven't done the business that we need to do, lose your mind. I'll join with you. I'll lose my mind with you. But till then, stay calm, because that is imperative. Now that we know Skelly is staying, I will want him as first choice left back, especially with the news that Nørgaard is coming in as well. And Calafiori and him can battle it out and see who is actually deserving of the spot based on merit. At this point in time, at the time of recording this video, prior to the preseason also starting, Skelly is my first choice. Now, apart from that, I haven't put it up on the page here, but Viktor Gyokeres has apparently informed Sporting Lisbon that he does not intend to return to their pre-season camp, and he is basically holding out on a strike. He wants his move. He feels that the gentleman's agreement that he had in place with Sporting Lisbon has not been honored, and he feels betrayed, apparently. Now, some fans, including myself, we may have mentioned that this sort of behavior could be considered a red flag. Because if he's willing to force his way out of a club by going on strike, what is stopping him from doing this at the next club that he goes to? And does that bode well for the club that is buying him? In this case, that's us. I will say context is key in everything, because we don't know all the info. It wouldn't be fair for us to judge prematurely. Given the fact that he is maintaining the story that he has been wronged, the deal that was made in the gentleman's agreement has not been honored, I think he is well within his rights to try and force a move. Even Trossard did something similar like that when he moved to Arsenal in the January window of 2022-23. He was out of favor with De Zerbi and he was not getting enough minutes. And he basically went on strike. He said, I'm not going to play for you guys until and unless you move me on. And since then, he's been at the club and I haven't seen him kick up a fuss or throw the baby out with the bathwater when he's not gotten as much game time as other players. So I think it is a similar situation personally. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe there will be more information that comes out and we find out where somebody has wronged someone in another way, or there are other information or other details that we are not privy to. That remains to be seen. As of now, I will still give Gyokeres the benefit of the doubt. And that is because I've also read stories that Sesko wants a release clause. No. We are not doing any release clauses. You don't treat my club as a stepping stone. You want to come here, be successful, you want to win with us, you come. If you want to come here to move on 3-4 years down the line, just don't bother. It's not worth the effort for us. And I wouldn't want that for my club either. At this point in time, Arsenal cannot be a stepping stone for anybody. So that's where I stand personally. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on all the transfer business that we have done so far? If Fabrizio is to be believed, we have 3 signings done, more or less. Zubimendi won't be announced before July. That's probably because Real Sociedad wanted to be like that for their accounting purposes, for financial reasons. So we are basically going to wait for a week, I think. But from all the ITKs and all the journalists who are connected to Arsenal, they have mentioned that he's already been to the club, he's signed, it's done. So if you're worried about him getting poached, don't be. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you think my content is worth following, please subscribe. You can drop a like. You can share it with anybody who you think might enjoy it as well. If you like this t-shirt, I made it myself. It's from the Arsenal game at the Santiago Bernabeu this season, where we denied the remontada. I make them myself. I'll sell them at a site. I'll leave the link in the description. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well if you want. The links will be in the description as well. That's about it, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Cheers. Peace.